Hi, this is your girl, Lauda La Artista, coming to you live from Art Crawl here in St. Paul in Lower Town. I have an artist here amongst us. His name is Charlie. He is a writer. So please tell us a little about yourself and tell us about the pieces that you were trying to sell.
So what we're talking about today is the bibliomancies.
Okay.
I am a writer normally, and so leaping into making visual art, concrete art, things that I can put on a wall and sell, it was kind of a big move for me. And so I started mostly with things involving words. Actually, if you can show this, the very first thing I did was a series of prints with phrases I remembered from my dreams.
Okay.
Right, so that's what, so I made these and I was like, so I finally had something to show at Art Crawl, so that was really exciting for me.
So this is part of your inspiration as to like the words and random word finds?
It's part of the movement, right?
Okay.
So where this came from, there's a kind of poetry called erasure poetry, which is made, it looks like that. It's made by redacting most of the words on a page, and what you leave is your poem.
Okay.
So I was kind of playing with that, buying books at thrift shops, playing with the idea of like, I'm going to try to make some poetry. But I found that the majority of the ones I came up with had a very particular sentence structure, which is an imperative sentence. Okay. Imperative sentence is one, it's usually an implied you subject. Okay. So if you were giving someone instructions, you wouldn't say, you walk to the store, you would just say walk to the store, right? So that's what an imperative sentence is. So I made all these, and then something was sticking in my head about that, and I started thinking about oracles, which is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Okay. All right, so now we're moving from starting making erasure poetry to moving into the idea of oracles. Okay. And so I had been playing with the I Ching, where you flip a bunch of coins and you come up with a particular kind of fortune. You ask it a question and it gives you some guidance on that question. And I thought that I could come up with my version of that. So that's where we start here with the 4-panel bibliomancy. Bibliomancy from biblio book, mancy for mantic, which is prophecy, essentially. Okay. Right? So it's book prophecy. And if we look at this one here, the instructions below basically explain how to use the oracle. Okay. So you come up with your question and you say, what should I do? Okay. Right? Like, here's the issue in my life, what should I do? Then you flip 2 coins and that tells you which of those 4 panels you're going to use. Okay. So depending on them, I'm going to read all 4 of them. So depending on which one you get, you kind of think about that sentence, think about how it applies to the question you ask. So here we have, the first one would be, pause the agony, maybe. Okay. All right. The next one would be, show courage to be defenseless and kind. The third one, signal the right to form separate groups no matter how. Okay. And the fourth one is, face the dark and weary days. You know, to be honest with you, these are very interesting little quotes that you created. So what made you want to actually frame these specific quotes? Well, right. Okay, so what I was doing, and I've made a couple of these, and actually I've been kind of lucky in selling some of them. I wanted each of them to have a different feel to it. Right. Right? So that they wouldn't all be the same, because I will admit to a tendency towards liking the darker ones. Sure. Like that last one. Yeah. Right? So I wanted to make sure it wasn't all like, prepare for death, prepare for a long, miserable life. You know, I didn't want to darkness exudes. Exactly, right? So I kind of put them all together, and I looked through them, and I tried to find a group that, a group of 4 that represented, at least in my mind, different ways you could approach a question. Okay. Right? So from there, I don't actually remember how I made the jump, but now we can move over to the oracles and omens. Okay. Now tell us a little about this, because I do remember actually last Art Crawl. That's right. I bought one. Yes. And I think mine said something about like, I deserve to be loved and loved hard, or something like that. And I was like, that was so interesting. Yeah. And so I wanted to see what the other ones have, or what you have to offer as far as like the messages and everything. So, I mean, can you elaborate a little bit more on this section? Yeah. So there are 2 different kinds. And I've settled on the gold seals and the black seals representing the different ones. Okay. At first I had different envelopes, right? So I have the green envelope, the parchment envelope, the ivory envelope. And mine was the green envelope last time. Yes, that's right. And so I don't know, I just got it in my head that it would be rather than kind of knowing your choices beforehand,
Sure.
let's have something that's you don't know until you're ready to ask the question what the oracle, which is how the oracle really worked, right? Like when you went to the oracle, you'd say like, here's my question. Should I marry this woman? Are we going to have children? And then the oracle would say, some crazy thing, like one of those answers, and you'd be like, that's a good sign. Okay, good, right? So, most of them come in that imperative sentence format, which the black ones represent that, and I call those the oracles. And so I learned how to fold a piece of paper into an envelope.
Yes.
Right? So
which I thought was very
creative.
creative.
Like kind of a one piece thing.
Yes.
And I bought a custom wax seal.
Yes.
So along with two kinds of wax, gold and black wax.
Yes.
So that I could seal the thing up, so that no one would see it. You'd know no one had seen it.
Yeah.
Since I put it together.
And it's very private, very personal, and I love how nostalgic it gives as well.
Totally.
Like you're sitting there, like about to have, you're about to like read some sort of like a private letter.
That's right.
That's from like
That's
the
right.
president. Like you could be like Abraham Lincoln or something crazy from that time frame. So I think that's actually very, very creative.
Yeah. So, the black oracle ones are like those sentences we saw before,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
And it's the same exact thing. It's the redacted
each
thing.
envelope has an individual message.
Each one is individual.
Okay, great.
And then the gold ones are ones where there wasn't that kind of oracular statement. It was something a lot more like a fortune cookie. It's kind of an interesting way of thinking about the world. It's like not a direct, it's not telling you what to do in the way that those are. It's not a direct kind of addressed to you directly.
So this is like your modern fortune cookie in a
Exactly.
sense.
This is my modern fortune. Yeah. And I feel like these are for the people who are ready to commit to a real oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and those are they're fun to make. They're fun to sell.
Is there any sort of kind of like spiritual ritual that you add to it, or do you feel like this also contributes to mental health in a sense too?
I don't know. I mean, I have to get into a certain mental state in order to make the oracles and to do the redacting in the first place. It takes me a while to do each one. I have to think about it. I have to read through. I find like which are the words that are jumping out at me, and I kind of like highlight those and then look to see like what goes with that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So there's a lot to it. I have to be in a kind of a quiet meditative space of my own in order to create them in the first place.
What's your favorite music to put on while you're trying to get into that meditative
That's
state?
a good question. I do it silently.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Okay, how have you actually been able to navigate through noise reduction and wanting to be able to just have it just being you and your mental thought process without having some sort of noise to be able to help soothe you?
That's a really interesting question. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at focusing.
Yeah.
I think it's just a...
You don't have ADHD like the rest of us.
Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty good at focusing in.
Yeah.
If a fire alarm goes off or something like that, I'll pay attention. But for the most part, like the incidental noises or people talking or whatever doesn't really tend to bother me too much.
You feel like you were born naturally with this meditative state?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool too, because considering it is really hard to naturally find that medium for yourself and finding that initial way of thinking and that thought process. So the fact that you even channeled that, probably day you were born, who do you think you got it from, your mom or your dad?
Oh, great question. Oh.
Because it might be a genetic thing.
I think it's a combination.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad's not terribly creative, but does tend to be able to focus on a task pretty closely. My mother more creative, but a little more, like a lot of moms, doing the laundry and cooking and making sure the kids, and she's also working, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably a combination, but my father probably modeled that.
Okay.
That like, let's focus on this task and do this now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I love this. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Mr. Charlie. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate it. This is Charlie here over at Lauratown Art Crawl here in what is our place called?
Northern Warehouse Loft.
There you go.
That's right. Have a great art crawl, everybody.
Have a great art crawl, you guys. We'll see you at the next one.